double.
If I hold it like
Yeah, you just
this,
tell me to know. Is that
What if
okay?
you set the speaker down like on top?
how is this for you right now?
Yeah, that's perfect. I
Okay.
don't hear myself. That works.
Okay, great.
Good job, ladies. Good job. Man, I can't wait to come and see this place. Looks so great.
It is. Oh my gosh, I love it.
All right, Angela, you're up finally.
So we're
You're
live.
live.
Oh,
We're
you're
just
already live.
Oh yeah, I had to go live to get the Instagram live too. So come on out here, Ange. We're gonna go play with the horse.
well, welcome everyone who's watching. We're going live with Jen Zoe. She's got a guest at her place in West Palm Beach, Florida. And so just bear with us because we're always having fun with our technology, but we'll do
Technology
our
with
best.
horses, it's tough. It can be
Yes.
a little tough. So this is one of my best friends in the whole world. Her name is Angela. So Angela, tell us a little bit about your experience with my guys and your horses and how it's impacted your life.
Well, it's taught me to be a lot more patient. It's taught me to go slow, and it's taught me to look at things not from necessarily a human point of view, but from how it works for them and going on their timelines and not mine.
Mm,
Oh, interesting. I think the
hmm
timeline thing is important. Talk more
Yeah.
about that.
Well, you might have something that you want to do, and you have all gung ho to go do it, and the next thing you know, that's not what the horse is. So, and that doesn't necessarily just happens to be with horses, but it can be happening in anywhere in your life. So sometimes you just kind of have to go with it instead of being so goal oriented.
Oh wow, interesting. And we always aren't we always talking about like how important goals are? You know, goals are so
hmm
important. But we
I'm
say,
being wow. That's beautiful.
yeah. And what does Pat always say? He says, we set the goal, but the horse sets the timeline. And I think that's really kind of a cool way to look at it because you don't know what's going to show up. You don't know what's going to happen in your life. You know, like you could wake up like with all of these things planned and then nobody's where you're supposed to be. It's, things are going sideways. And that's a little bit of life. And horses are a lot like life. And they say horsemanship is like lifemanship. I think it's pretty spot on. Like, because how have, now I know Angela, we were just, hi, buddy. I would update on Dante for those of you who have been following him too. Um, what tell a little bit about your like background with horse, like just a little bit about your experience with horses and how you and I know each other.
Well, I ended up getting a colt that I never did any kind of horse training before, 2 years into horses, and he was an extreme horse, frightful, spooky, suspicious, and all of that. And I started in the program, in a natural horsemanship program, to give him the best kind of start. And I ran into some roadblocks due to my inexperience. And Jen and I were friends on Facebook, and I said I could really use some help right now, and she happened to be in my part of the country, and lo and behold, she said, "All right," and she's helped me get over many humps that we've had and ruts and dug out of them, and coaches me along here and there when I say, "Hey Jen, check this out," and she's like, "Nice job. You want to make it better?" I say, "Sure."
Yeah, and that's really cool because I think one of the things that Daniela and I have discovered and actually kind of ran with what we want to do with helping people and like with mental illness and empowerment and leadership is, what's the first thing that you have to be before you can go do anything with a horse?
Patient,
Patient, right? What else do you have to be?
confident.
Confident. Those two things right there. First two things. I've known this woman for about almost 10 years now. And if you had someone that was patient and confident in your world, like how different do you show up for that person than you do for somebody that's like impulsive or and unconfident? And what you can learn with these horses, and Daniela will attest to this, like what you can learn with these horses about life is about lifemanship is just incredible. And patience and confidence goes a long way these days, guys. A long way with all of this intolerance of anybody else's opinions. I just had a person drop out of my club and unfriend me and say I'm a horrible person because we disagreed about something. And I'm like, we're not very patient with each other these days. What do you think about that, Daniela?
Oh my gosh. I'm so glad you asked because I have a lot of thoughts around this. And it's sad to me because I mean you and I say this all the time. What happened to having a healthy debate? What happened to just being able to have differences, respect the differences and learn from them, right? I mean, part of why in business it's good to have different personalities on your team is to be able to get those different perspectives and then be able to allow that to motivate you to step up and maybe put a little pressure to maybe have a better idea or come to a better conclusion or maybe switch things up. And so instead of allowing our differences to make us stronger and better, people are making them create
Using them
such
as
a
leverage, as
divide.
weapons. Yeah,
Yeah.
they're using them like weapons. And I think what's really interesting about this, and because I want to give some clarification, when you have somebody that you're having a healthy debate with, and and you disagree with them about something, and then you think about it later, and you're a better person as a result of it, that doesn't mean that you adopt some of their ideas and like blend it into yours and learn from them and agree with them. In fact, the woman that I can't with him.
He's so
Okay,
cute. He wants to be part of this so bad.
this is Dante. I know, buddy. I love you so much. Well, I gotta tell you, I'm actually gonna cry because this horse
Mm.
has and here this is a perfect segue into this conversation because Dante has had someone serving him for at least 6 years in a way that wasn't serving him. Me and
Mm.
let me tell you what I'm talking about. He look at him yawning, and this is gonna make me cry. Oh my gosh. I've had this horse for almost you've been 19, almost a long time. Had him for almost 2 decades, and he has always had issues with his teeth, and horses' teeth erupt, like continue to grow throughout their lifetime, and so he has had an issue with this for a long, long time. And I had his teeth done recently. And so I was like, but he's always a problem. So we're going to have someone out again soon. And she came out, and I can't believe this response. I'm so super happy we were capturing this because the woman came out and she said, "Oh my God." And she was like way back in his mouth. She said, "Oh my God, this is I'm not messing with this." And she went
Mm.
and got the biggest pair of like cuticle trimmers I've ever seen. They're the big, like almost like bolt cutters is what they looked like. And the handles were like 2.5 feet long. And she had his mouth open, and it's what's called a speculum. And she reached back in and clipped off two of his teeth, like clip the sharp edges off. And she said that amount of growth on a tooth would have taken at least 6, maybe 7 years or longer. That's been going on for 6 or 7 years. And I've been trusting these people to take care of my horse in a way that they're like, oh yeah, he's fine. And I'm like, something always felt
Wow.
off. And so now that we know what it is, look how his behavior is different.
Mm.
He is like,
Wow.
right? Those of you that don't know Dante, if I were to say anything right now, he's going, I feel better. He's telling me
Mm.
right now, I feel
And he
better.
looks excited. He looks like he's like excited about it, like feeling good, feeling uppity, like he wants to be with you. He wants to like play, it looks like.
Yeah, he was, and he has not been feeling like that for a while. Now Maverick's got to come in and get in on the action, which is typical. But it's like it's beautiful to see, him come out. And this ties back into our topic about opinions and difference and things. Like I now want to know. I want to know what happened over the last 6 years that this was missed by so many different professionals. I've had multiple different people all look at him and work on his teeth and try and help him. And I'm not, and moms out there, if this happens, don't blame yourself. We're doing the best we can, and kids
Mhm.
who have parents that made mistakes and grabbed their arm or when they shouldn't have or did something, we're there doing the best they can. So forgive your parents, guys, because Dante just forgave me and thanked me right here, right now, for everything that just happened over the last 2 days. And that's terrifying as a caregiver of somebody like something like Dante, or as a parent. Would you agree with that? I'm not a parent,
Absolutely.
so you are though.
Absolutely.
Yeah, like
Yep.
we're always trying to do the best we can, and sometimes we just don't know. right?
I tell parents that all the time. Don't beat yourself up. You didn't know that this was an injury.
Yes, exactly. There's
They're
so
going to
many
be fine.
times.
Don't
Yes,
beat yourself up. It happens to most parents.
right.
And
Absolutely.
that's it.
Yeah, because you're tell them what you do for a living.
I'm an X-ray tech, and I do orthopedic tech work as well, a cast tech, and I've helped. I've casted a bunch of kids with broken arms, and parents didn't know they were broken, and they don't present the same way. So parents would beat themselves up, going, "Oh my God, this has been this way for a week," and they wouldn't use his arm as much, and he couldn't really tell me. And then we see that it's broken on the X-ray, and I'm like, "Don't beat yourself up.
Right.
Just don't, it's just you took him here because he still wasn't right. Consider yourself a good parent."
Yeah, and you know what? A lot of times these kind of conversations, like where it show up in the political world, where it's like we can't have anything. We can never be wrong because, God forbid, everyone will attack us. Like, look how patient you were with someone. That what if you had said to that person, "Well, you're an idiot. You should have known better. Or, you're a bad parent." Well, that's the environment that we're in a lot of times right now. And Dante is feeling a lot better, aren't you, Dee? Hey, Dante. What do you got to say, Miss Daniela? Are you still with us? We've been talking.
Yeah, no, I'm here. I'm listening. I'm just finding it beautiful. I think this is a really impactful subject, because to think about the things that we do, and we are all just doing our best with the knowledge and understanding that we have at all times. And to be able to forgive yourself, number one, is huge, because how often do so many of us beat ourselves up over not having said the right thing, or not having taken the right action, or not having noticed soon enough, or not having given up fast enough, or not having started it when we said we would. Like, there's just so many things. There's so many things we can constantly weigh ourselves down with. But there's a beauty in being able to recognize and say, well, there was a reason. I don't know what the reason is, and maybe I'll never know. And that's okay, because where I am right here and right now is exactly where I'm supposed to be. And for whatever reason, it has made Dante stronger. He
Yes.
has overcome, and now he's being able to experience a level of sensory, or whatever that word is,
Oh, yeah.
right, that he's maybe not felt in so long. And so maybe it's going to give him a new appreciation for things that maybe he hasn't appreciated in a long time. I mean, who knows, right? Like, we
Yeah,
could
absolutely. And for me, I look at it and say, I'm going to do more research. I'm not just going to
Mhm.
take, people's opinion about what
That's
is
right.
or is not good for my animal, and that goes back to Amanda, who's stoically standing here behind the camera, being like a statue, a statue holding the camera. Thank you for videoing, Amanda. But we talked a little bit about this, and in the medical world, like, what's the value of getting a second opinion?
Tremendous.
Tremendous.
It can be life-saving. It can be the you know surgery versus non-surgery, and it can be life-saving. That's what it can come out to be. Or it can be saving you a lot of grief that you didn't necessarily need to have.
Yes, and this, you know what, I'm going to tell you. I was trying to get this other dentist back out here because I heard she was so good, and she is good. I'm not going to take anything away from her expertise or her skills necessarily. At the same time, I was really struggling to get an appointment with her. I couldn't get her on the calendar. She's so busy. So I was like, well, I got it. Dante, something's up. I could tell. He was telling me, he wasn't happy. So I was like, all right, we got to get somebody out here. And the other dentist came out and said, oh, holy crap, and I can think of 4 other dentists who worked on his teeth since then. And I'm like, second opinions, baby. Until you got to follow your intuition, every step of the way. And I was just on Jesse Itzler's roundtable discussion yesterday, and he was like, you know what, you need to, most of the time, you need to follow your intuition. And then he said, no, follow your intuition all the time. You are your intuition, and Danielle, you say it best. Energy does not lie. Energy does not lie.
And
So,
you know what? We already always have what we need, right? Like, the only question is, are we clear in hearing it? We have the intuition, we have our gut feelings, but are we paying attention to them? Are we able to, are we keeping all the outside noise at bay so we can hear our intuition? Or, you
Well,
know
we
what I
talked
mean?
about this earlier, Amanda, like quieting the chaos in
Yeah,
your brain.
because listen, there's so much output. I was just talking about this yesterday too. Like you wake up in the morning and it's instant. It's on your cell phone. It's on the TV. It's at the people you talk to. It's in the store you go to. It like there's an influx of constant things coming at us at every turn in life. And so, when do we take the time to be quiet, to sit with ourselves, to listen to ourselves and not all the noise, especially with the social media? And that has its place and it has its benefits. But if there's just like too much of anything is never good for us, even the good
Yes,
stuff. Being in silence too much isn't good either. We need the balance
that's
of all
true.
the things, right? So
Yep.
how do we create the balance? How do we give ourselves what we need? How do we put the oxygen mask on first? How do we fill our cups first? How do we give ourselves what we need first before we turn around and give to others and listen to others? And it's a harmonious balance we need to find, and it's different for all of us. So
Mm.
it's an art, I think, to be able to know when. You say it all the time with the horses, Jen, knowing when to and when not to. I mean, that's a huge, powerful statement that holds so much weight in so many ways to me. Like when I think about that statement, that says a lot with just saying
Yeah.
a very little.
And I think that goes all back to the point that, you know what, when you don't know, you don't know. Be gentle with yourself, and question the things that are coming into your brain.
Mm-hmm.
Balance the meditation with the action, because you can't have one. All action and no silence is no good, but all silence and no action is equally as toxic. And just really put in yourself to say, hey, we're on this world for but a few spins around the sun. And I don't know how fast we're going, but it's pretty freaking fast. And Ferris Bueller of that is like, you got to slow down and take a look around sometimes, because life happens fast.
It
And I don't want,
does.
yeah, it does happen. And I want to experience as much of it as I possibly can. And this guy here, standing here next to me, when he could be anywhere, and standing next to us where he could be anywhere, I mean, that speaks volumes. Like, we've been giving him so much care and so much love. He has a few things going on. He has obviously the thing with his teeth, and then he has a, a condition called EPM. EPM, um, what is it? Equine protozoal myeloencephalitis. Say that 3 times fast. But
No, thank you.
right, but it's a parasite, a protozoa that eats the protein myelin sheath around its nerve endings, and it can paralyze them or even cause death. And so he has a pretty high concentration of this protozoa in his system, and we're getting him the medication he needs. And to see him standing square instead of his legs kind of like not where they're supposed to be is a huge improvement already. And
Mm.
to see him just be here and stand calmly,
I
Dante,
love
this
it.
is, yeah, I mean, this is such a rare thing for Dante to be, that I'm really grateful to see that he's feeling better. And watch out next time, he's going to be spicy.
Well, and I feel so much love from him right now. Like, I don't know about anybody watching who maybe doesn't know, but I know you're feeling it right there, Jen. It's why you're loving up on him. And I mean, I'm feeling so much love and gratitude coming from him right now. And I think that's just so beautiful from a horse, like you said, who's usually feisty and ready to go and got a lot of questions. And, like he's a special horse. He's beautiful in so many ways. I mean, what an amazing teacher. And so like, I feel grateful for him and that this woman came in when she did and found this when she did.
Yeah,
And how cool that
absolutely.
now you have something to research to the ends of the earth like you normally do. Just one more level of education and knowledge that Jen is going to get. And for those of you who don't know, I've never met anybody else who has the depth, knowledge, and level of expertise on so many things. I
I
mean,
will agree.
right?
Definitely agree. I love that. Thank you for that. I'll take that as quite a compliment,
It
especially
is.
coming from you, Daniela, because you equally have like so much knowledge and the people
Oh,
that are in my world and my dear friends. I was just telling Angela earlier today. I said I've become incredibly boundaried, and to just be able to be that and know that and who you share your circles with and doing some culling of the friendships as it were, to cut out the people in your life that you don't want, that aren't serving you anymore, that aren't rising with you, that don't have the depth of knowledge of people and the caring. And look at how Angela is going above and beyond in her job to share with these people and help them and save lives and give ideas to people. Those are the kind of people I want in my life. you know
yeah.
and when you look at like when a horse comes up and says, I want you in my life, like that's pretty special. And I think that people that we can have lively conversations around, like we were talking, a great healthy debate about something that we disagree on or don't understand. Like you may not agree even after the conversation, but be open and willing to have it without, just with grace. Have some
Mhm.
couth, people. Let's have some patience with each other
Yeah.
while having confidence in ourselves. Because usually when we lose patience, it's because we have a lack of confidence in ourselves. Because if you're confident,
Mhm.
does much bother you? Are you flappable? Then why get impatient? And of all the two attributes that Angela could have brought forth, patience and confidence, those are two pretty darn important ones.
Those are massive, massive. I mean, holy moly, just one of those is massive. You know what I
Right.
mean? Patience alone is like, I mean, we experience a lot of that in our everyday, having patience for outcomes, having patience for people's responses, having patience for the time it takes to heal ourselves, having patience for the time it takes to help others heal, having patience for the horses when we're helping them. Like, I mean, what?
Have patience for people when they're supposed to be doing something and they're not, right? And including yourself.
That's
Like,
right.
I'm supposed to be doing a reel a day and I don't. I'm over here petting Dante, making sure his teeth aren't cutting his face off. Sorry, I didn't get to my reel. So having patience for yourself when you're not doing what you think you should be doing. There's so many things around patience and confidence, because I'll tell you what, confidence without patience and compassion is arrogance. You have to be
Ooh.
able to have patience and compassion in order to have this level of confidence that puts you in a place where you're not arrogant.
And I think if you only have confidence, you're doing a disservice to whether it's an animal or a person of the other side.
Ooh, she
Right,
said, you
right.
hear
Because then
that?
there's cockiness. Then there's that cockiness, right? So
Yeah.
it's like it's so interesting how that pendulum can swing and really there is a fine line. There
There
really
is.
is.
Well, before Amanda's arm falls off, and did you anything you'd like to add, Amanda? That's no. She says, I'm tired, guys. Send me home. She's tired. We've had a go week here down at West Palm Beach. Which, speaking of, I have some beautiful events coming up this spring. We're doing a spring solstice in the barn. It's gorgeous weather down here. Daniela's already got some great spring events up at her place in New York. So if you're watching, make sure you follow us every Friday around the 1 o'clock hour. Daniela, myself, or both of us, and as many people as we can get here to share about this beautiful vision with horses. Go live for our Fun Coaching Friday. We're going to be doing some more live events and increasing what we're up to here. We got a lot of things on the boil we can't quite talk about just yet. But if you are interested, make sure you're following us on socials and reaching out, because we're doing great things to save horses and change lives.
And if you want to be a participant on these Friday calls, whether it's here in New York or in West Palm Beach, and actually play with a horse and see exactly what this impact is, please
Ooh,
reach out to us, because that is an option and we welcome it. We want to bring people out to have these experiences, to
absolutely.
see how valuable these animals are, much more than just being fast runners, high jumpers, and fancy showers and all that
Yeah,
jazz. So
physical
that is
performers.
possible, and we welcome it, like I said. So thank you so
Yeah.
much for joining us. And thanks,
We're going to
Jen.
go play with horses.
Yes. Love you. Have a great
Bye.
day. Bye. I don't know how to end it on this end. I think you got to
Me
end it
either.
on
I
that
got to end it.
one. Wah, wah, wah.
That was good.